Good morning all and welcome to the Celtic Unrestricted View. I'm JP and joining me in this fine Tuesday coffee morning is my good man, Mr. Ryan Clifford, yet again. Well, wee man, last time we were on, there was far too much hilarity in my opinion. So we're here to be a wee bit more... I was going to say we're here to be a wee bit more serious, but we'll see how this goes. I don't even know if that's going to be able to happen, but it's good to see you and I hope you're well since the last time I seen you.
Aye, all good, mate. Me bit of sore throat, but we're alright. Me bit of coffee and I'm a bit better, mate, so we're all good.
Is that all that singing you were doing in the half 10 show last night?
Aye, if you want to call it singing, we'll call it singing, mate. Aye. We'll keep it clean for 11:30 in the morning, but aye, no, always good, mate, to come on and have a chat, and obviously another big game tonight for Celtic, so looking forward to that. I know we mentioned last night about it's a lot of games, but see when it comes to the day of the game, you look forward to going to see it. So looking forward to obviously chatting about the game, mate. Looking forward to Celtic playing, and hope you're well and nobody else is well, and hope you're all having a good morning so far.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I had a really good sleep last night, actually. All that hilarity put me to bed early when I came off of here. I came off here, I watched Rodgers. I only caught a wee bit of Brendan's interview, and I watched the rest of it. I watched the rest of it, and then obviously, I headed up to my bed. I was feeling a wee bit tired, so I had a good sleep. Up early this morning. As you know, mate, my washing machine, the spring on the door and the door lock had been snapped since before the festive period, so unfortunately the company that we get the cover through, they weren't able to come out, and literally the guy was here. I think he was in here about 7 minutes. I counted it this morning. He came in the door at 8:30 and he was away before, he was away well before 20 to 9.
I thought you were going to say he left it for 55 seconds.
No. He staged a protest and disappeared after 55. But I was actually thinking about doing that last night in the 55th minute, walking up. But no, I was enjoying the chat too much. But come to a few comments, as we always do. Wee Willie Columns in first. Morning, lads. Hail. Morning, mate. What are you doing today? You getting ready for the night? Brilliant. Make sure that telly's plugged into analog Celtic tonight, so we can get a couple of penalties, and hopefully Yang does his best to fly on the box again and we get one. And Jem, morning JP, Ryan and the chat. Plunge, morning Fenians. Wow, what a start, Plunge. He's woke up in a bit of a rebel mood today by the looks of things. P. McLaughlin, morning all, hail. Francis, hail. Good morning boys, hail. Chris Murray, morning boys and the chat. The other man I've not seen yet, it's Lindsay. She's not in giving it. Morning, Ange, how are you? Not seen any of that.
Ange, you alright?
No, I've not seen that. I hope you slept well, pal. I did as well, thinking about you and all that. I've not seen that yet, so here we go. Can't ban the banter, JP. No, we're not banning the banter. Don't worry about that. P. McLaughlin, Vallecano, Mallorca can't buy a player until July 26 now. Apparently there's a club close to hand that's probably in the same boat. I've heard they can't buy a player as well. Plenty of waffles right enough, but no players coming through the door here. St Mary's Parish in Coatbridge. Morning guys, BBC and Radio Clyde played down the walkout. Yeah, well, we kind of thought they would have. I'm surprised at that, to be fair, because Gordon Duncan was in attendance at the game and he was commentating at the game, and with him working on Clyde 1. I never managed to get to listen to Clyde 1 last night, but I'm a wee bit surprised at that, Ryan, because I thought there would have been more hullabaloo about it in terms of, the way it happened, and then obviously all the aftermath. And I know, like I says to you last night, mate, I know they were asking for change, but I didn't mean they were going to do it literally and start lobbing money at one another. So, I thought that was quite comical, actually.
I think St Mary's Parish Coatbridge quite right as well. That apparently there was no booze. If you look back at all the highlights of the games and the videos, there was definitely booze. There was a bit of what we would call bed on bed action. So aye, listen, look, they're obviously want to play it down and no make it a headline. But
Yeah.
Brendan Rodgers comes out with a presser, and it's front page news. It's every single question in the media for days up to the game of the weekend there. Everyone's leading up to it. Oh, how you feeling after the presser?
Yeah.
How's the players? Your feelings about the fans? Did you mean it about gearing to this? So, listen, we all know the case, what the media do, but that's the way it is, mate. That's the way it is in Scotland.
Yeah. Plunge says here it's an admin error that Palmer can go to Spain. Apparently they're not letting him in because he's got his own face on his own case, apparently. That's what I heard.
Is that a Jet 2 flight to Gran Canaria away to plunge?
He's away to Las Palmas, isn't he? He's away to meet up with your man that was here last year, Silver.
He's away to meet up with McBurney and
Scott McKenna.
Spanish coffee, aye.
He's away to taste the paella. He's heard the tapas is lovely at this time of the year.
Aye, he's sick of that lobster thermidor, isn't he?
Aye, he's sick of that lobster thermidor, aye. Apparently he's keeping his change as well to tip the concierge in the lavatory. He'll no doubt offer him a round of colognes for around the world, mate.
Brilliant, man.
Yeah, so obviously we travel up to Dundee tonight, mate. Looking at Dundee's fixtures, Ryan, I'll go back. These are the last 4 fixtures they've had. So they beat St Mirren 2-1. They get beaten in Derby on the 2nd of January. They then beat St Johnstone 3-1. And then they drew with the team across the water on the 9th. So they've actually not played since they drew with Rangers last week. They never had a game at the weekend. So, yeah. So looking at that, mate, they're probably going into tonight on a decent vein of form. I know they've signed another left back yesterday from Brighton. I can't remember the fella's name. I seen the article as well, and that's terrible. I can't remember the guy's name now. They do have some good players. Obviously, they've got the goalkeeper, Trevor Carson. He's very good with the ball at his feet, Ryan. Yep. I like the look of the boy, Ethan Ingram. I think he's a class player. He's obviously a young lad, 21. He's predominantly a right back, but he played on the left-hand side. You look through their team, also, they've got the big boy Portales, who seems to have done well for them. Aduemi, he looks as if he's another good cook for them, Ryan. They've still got Lyle Cameron. I really like my feelings on the lad Josh Milligan. I think he's a very good player. I think he's got a great engine in him. Another young Scottish lad coming through. They've got Finlay Robertson, and they've got the big lad who is severely physical, and he's massive in that big boy Momo Silla.
Guy centre mid.
Yeah, the big lad at centre mid. Then you look up top, they've got the boy Vetro as well, the French lad that they've brought in. They've also got the boy Palmer Howden that Tony Dock's now brought in as well. Curtis Main's still lingering, but he's not really getting a game. And then they've got the top man, Simon Murray, who is just an absolute menace, mate. You look at that as well. Not to mention the other lad that can play out the wing as well, the boy Tiffany.
Yeah.
For me, Ryan, I think, and you know my feelings on Tony Dock as well, mate, I really do think he's done well with that team. I really do, considering the budget he's had, the amount of players he's had out. I mean, it was about 10 his squad's missing, or it was missing when they played Rangers. And they still played some really good football. And when we watched the game, mate, they still played some really good football on the night. Some of their passing was really slick. They cut Rangers open a few times as well and get in behind them. So I really do expect a tough test when we get up here tonight, mate.
They'll be full of confidence, obviously, if you get the draw against Neighbour Close of Water, so they'll be fresher than us as well. We're no playing since then, so hopefully for their sake, their injuries will be better and maybe players will be able to play tonight as well. So, they've got a few decent players. Well, they can step up to our level or aim across the water or a bigger level than Dundee, I don't know. They've got a really good youth academy in terms of I think as well, see, because like Dundee are going, they're not expected to win trophies every year. They're not expected to finish second or anything like that. Or third. If they finish the top six, brilliant. If they survive relegation, fantastic. They're still in the Premier League, and that's for me. I would say surviving is obviously the first and foremost, but if they get top six or even European football, it's brilliant for Dundee. So, like you say, with the budget they've got, so massive. It's maybe no as low as maybe St Mirren, I don't think, or maybe St Johnstone, but they've done really well in terms of recruitment. The boy up front, Adeyemi, he's done really well against Rangers.
Yeah, he looks a good player.
Tony Dock seems to be pretty bullish that he'll kind of no move on for Dundee to a massive club, but he'll really do well in his career. He seems a really good technical player as well. So
have they not just signed a Mexican lad as well, Ryan? They've just signed a boy and they've also got the other boy. Is it Garza? The boy Garza they brought in.
I think they've got some sort of not a feeder link, but they've got some sort of link to the two teams, so like loan deals and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But we've got a few good players, and I think as well they've got the opportunity because of their budget and obviously because they're not expected to win every game and go for trophies. They've got the capabilities to give young players like Finn Robertson and other guys like that, Josh Mulligan, guys like that, bit of game time to prove himself and bed them into the team and stuff like that. So, they've got a good wee kind of club there, JP. They do things properly, and their ground's really well now in terms of the park. The park's looking really good now as well, considering what it was last season. So,
it's not waterlogged in a minute.
So they've done a lot of work to the park, and that's obviously helped them as well to play good football. So no, I think Tony Dock's done well, considering she's pure Dundee's first job management in terms of full-time himself. So he's done really well. He seems really screwed on in terms of his coaching.
He just handles himself brilliantly, Ryan. We watched the PLZ, the one he done with Peter Martin and a good friend. And, he's the way he speaks about the game and the kind of insights he gives, obviously, as well, that a lot of people on the, like when John M was on the dial line last night, and he says, talking about people being privy to what's going on. That's what a lot of guys don't see. They don't see the hard work and everything else it goes into clubs like Dundee. You only need to listen to Luke McCown making the step up and going, wow. It's like Luke McCown's went from, I don't mean this to sound disrespectful in any way, but Luke McCown's went from the Jungle Creek soft play area into Disneyland. That's the comparison to where he's went now. But you look at the ground in it, Luke McCown's came from Ayr into Dundee, some good coaches, Tony Dock included there, and then obviously making the step up as well. And it looks certainly, there's been a lot of talk now about the lads Lyle Cameron and the lad Josh Mulligan, mate, kind of similar to Luke McCown and following footsteps. So there's definitely something there, mate, and obviously the way they work.
100%. They're doing things properly. You get a good bit of money for Luke McCown as well, so that'll keep them going for a wee while as well. Sorry, £1 million or so that'll keep them going as well. So, I think the boy Lyle Cameron's rumoured to go to them across the water on a pre-contract. Whether or not that's the case, I don't know, but that's what's been reported this morning and yesterday. Again, the boy's a good player. I think he would help if it was us or them. I think he would help the squad, but whether or not he's that level just yet, because McKibben's obviously older, so he's more experienced than the guys. He's played more football, so he's able to obviously experience-wise be better.
Ryan, hold on a second. Sorry to interrupt you, Ryan. I've just seen a comment here for a good man, Mr. Peter McGlone. Right. Wait a wee minute. JP with red, white and blue. Peter, now, I don't know if it's the lighting or anything. Can you not see the green in this T-shirt?
I can see it.
And see that there? that isn't red. That's pink. That's not red. That is a kind of blue that I don't know what kind of blue you would call it. It's certainly not
aqua.
maybe aqua, aye. But that there, even on the sleeve here, is green. Well, Peter, I think we've all now came to the conclusion, pal, that you maybe need to get a Hoddy wee Wally column in the comments there and see if you can get a wee word with Specsavers, mate, because there's nothing on my top grey. It might be my hair you're looking at right enough, but it's certainly not. It's certainly not. There you go. There's St Mary's correcting you. It's Our Lady's blue. So there we are. Glad we got to the bottom of that. Thank you very much.
But no,
Peter, your first comment, I think you need some in terms of food morning. I thought he was dishing out some buffet there. But he did correct himself and he did say good morning. But I definitely think, I definitely think your eyes are, you're needing a wee prescription there, mate.
No, but I do think Dundee they've done well, JP. Well, I know the boys like Mulligan and Cameron are able to step up the Kevin. The new again, I really couldn't tell you that. So, but no, listen, it'll be a decent game for us as well because we've come off a big victory in Ross County. You've got KUHN back training. Well, no, he starts. I don't know if maybe he won a bench again and maybe play him on Saturday because, again, as much as every game's important, I'd like to think the cup game on Saturday's probably got a wee tiny bit more importance because you don't want to come out the cup. You want to stay in the cup as long as possible. So,
yeah, 100%.
But you still want to extend the lead. But we've got the quality in the squad to obviously handle that. So, I don't know what you feel on that. Do you think KUHN will come back in? But I think if he's maybe been wise and maybe thinking sensibly, you would maybe put him on the bench. If need be, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, and you're maybe still enough on each, need a wee bit of sparkle, then you can put that bit of quality off the bench.
Yeah, listen, it's tremendous the options we do have. I mean, I know he did say he was going to give Maeda a wee bit more time and, a wee bit of time to look at that. And, listen, we've seen how quickly he can recover. I mean, last season we thought he was going to be out for the rest of the season. Yang underperforms in the semi-final and he thought to himself, right, I need to get myself fit here. I need to help this team out. But if a good man, Mr. John Clifford, is watching this morning, I actually do think Yang keeps his place in the team. I think the team might be unchanged from the weekend. I think.
JP, you're talking about Maeda, but Big Felix Magath says just put a block of cheese on it, it'll be fine.
Aye, that's right. You talk about that as well, by the way.
Tyson, just put a block of cheese on it, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
A piece of hamstring and mozzarella.
I actually do. Aye. No, the one that you put in the oven to melt so that it goes all stretchy. Maeda wakes up in the morning, man. He's never been as flexible as that in his life. His missus isn't complaining, but
no, she's no.
You can be in two places at once. You can stretch out for now. You need to make her a cup of tea, plus get into that room for me.
Multitasking.
Aye, me and my head is one on why she's standing next to the radiator. What are you doing, and I'm meeting your dinner up, son.
I mean, up, aye.
Usually. That was Peter there. He'd be looking for a grey pot. Want to get his pasta made. Everything's green, Peter says. The couch, the cat, his hair. Brilliant, man. Superb. Our good man, Mr. Alan Stirling. Morning, everyone. See everyone soon. Sadly, forward with the flu. Just now, hail. Yeah. Just stop sucking into that traffic code when you shout play the Scotto. Tell you four, wrap TCP around at me, man, and just give yourself a good inhale of that, man. You'll be all right in the morning, honestly. That'll sweat it right out of you.
Mind that, by the way, when you're younger. Just put TCP on it. That'll help
Aye,
it.
just put TCP on it. That was my granddad's forte. My granddad used to do that. Stick some TCP on that, I'll be all right in the morning.
I hope you're well soon, Alan.
Big blister on your toe for coming and playing fives. Coming in to play. Just stick TCP on it. But my granddad used to go and so what my granddad used to do is heat up like a knitting needle or one of the needles. He'd heat it either with a lighter or the cooker or like put a heat in it, and then see if he had a blister on his toe, just used to pierce it. He used to just see all the hangmaid draining out it. That's the way my granddad dealt it.
No.
Oh, granddad was brilliant at that, man.
I think Big Aaron might need some TCP. I might help him.
He's lucky my granddad's no here, man. He'll be getting sawdust tossed out of him. You're all right in the morning, son. Come on.
Get well soon, big man. Hope you're well soon.
No, I hope you're well soon. Hope you are. Plunge is now having a laugh at Peter saying he stands at the radiator waiting to make toast. Peter's standing at his grey radiator.
Brilliant.
You talk about Nicholas KUHN, Ryan. I'm of the opinion that I would go unchanged for the weekend, personally. I don't think you need to rush Nicholas KUHN back in. I don't think he needs to just come straight back. I think we've got bigger games, and I don't want to say more important, because the next one's always the most important for us, isn't it? So, but you've got the kind of leeway there to know have to play him. If he does play him, I still think Yang will play. I still think Yang will play over on the left. And it'll either be Kyogo or either it'll go through in the middle. But in my opinion, I think it's a great option to have. It all depends on how fit he is, and you know, you're looking and you're going, right, in the warm-up last week at Celtic Park, you think to yourself, right, KUHN's playing, and then he does a warm-up, and then all of a sudden he feels something in his thigh. So there is that element I know is don't want him going through that again, you know, and it might not be healed. It might be coming back too early, or it might just be a wee twinge, who knows? But no, I think personally, I don't know how you feel, Ryan, but I don't know if I would. I don't know if I would do it. I don't know if I would play him. I'd maybe have him. He's obviously going to be in the squad. Okay, fine. My header might be the same also. But I don't know if I'd play him for a start, mate. I don't think there's any need to, if that makes sense.
I'm probably the same as you, mate. I think it's maybe another game, sit on the bench, bit more rest time, and then if need be, if the manager feels you need a bit more quality off the bench, then you've got that option. Because obviously I know you still have Palm on the bench, whether you like him or no, he's still an option.
Yeah.
You probably have Kenny on the bench as well, so you've got some options to take him off the bench. I know in terms of Johnny Kenny, we don't know the full ability of him. We've only seen him in small bits in Shamrock Rovers, and he done well at the weekend. So, but I know, listen, I think Yang will play. I think he's probably stick on to play personally.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll not play. KUHN, I think he will be on the bench. I could be wrong. I know Maeda's out for tonight, I think, so you've probably really only got one space, and that's...
Well, has Maeda been confirmed out, though? I see Anne James comment there, but Brendan did say he was giving them one more day. He never verified whether that was it. Unless something's out now and I've not seen it. Well,
I kind of go for what he's been saying is he might not even play tonight.
Yeah, probably doesn't have to. Yeah.
I could be wrong, Jai, if he, like you say, he could recover miraculously and say, Gaffer, I'm fit, I can play. So
yeah.
And I think if Dizan says he's fit, then he's fit. I think he'll play. So I think it'll just all depend on what the medical team feel and what he feels. So, but no, I think Yang will play. But it's probably a game as well, JP, that I think we've got a lot of chances tonight. Because I think Dundee, I don't think Dundee will sit and park the bus. I think they'll try and come out and play football. I think
41 shots at goal on Saturday. I think Dundee is sort of team, especially how they're trying to play.
I think at Celtic Park they might come and park the bus. Might sound disrespectful, but anybody who knows what I'm talking about knows what I mean. They'll just sit in and maybe defend and try and get a counter attack, or just try and push for a draw. But I think at Dens Park they'll try what they can to try and get a victory. I don't think they're going to go to Dens Park and just think, look, we'll just sit in and give Celtic the ball and we'll just, because that just means you're going to keep pressure on yourself. But because of how good we are, even if Dundee try and attack, one mistake, we will exploit it. If we're good enough on the night, we will exploit it and punish them. So I think JP, I think you'll agree with me on this. I think it's quite a conundrum with what teams do with us in Scotland, because I know Rangers maybe showed a wee bit of threat with us. If he presses, we can concede, and maybe if we're no on it that day, we can obviously concede goals. But you look at the other side, when teams can presses and make mistakes, we then take advantage of it. So what did Dundee do? Did they try and go attack, or did they sit back and give all the pressure to us? Because either way, I think it's down to us. If we perform and turn up, 9 times out of 10, JP, it's only one man, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%, mate. No, 9 times out of 10, as you said, it's up to what we do. It's the way we set up, the way we go about our business, and whether we are at it or not. For me, that's the only way any team in this league, in this country, get any joy against us, because it's either they've set up in a way that it's made it really difficult for us in order to break through, or we're just not at the races on that day. Now, those days, thankfully, as a Celtic fan, are far and few between, and we have been massively consistent throughout the time of Brendan. So, yeah, I think, obviously, I was just about to start touching on, just as Glasgow Celts says there, how we're going to set up, how we're going to go with this. I think Brendan expects more of a flat, back 5 tonight for Dundee to try and hit us on the counter. And I think what will be key for us, Ryan, moving into the game tonight, no, I don't see, with this 2 up front all the time, it works now and again, okay, fine, but the game's changed now. Modern day football has totally changed. You look at a lot of setups, a lot of teams that you're playing against, that you can't set up with 2. There's games that you actually can't set up with 2 up front. Certain games you can, but the more if Rodgers was to start doing that every away game now that we do, it's just teams will click onto it and they'll start trying to set up differently against. I firmly believe we saw Celtic play the way they did on Saturday, Ryan, because Ross County never saw that coming. Ross County never saw Celtic setting up like that. They knew we had problems, but everybody in their granny thought Luke McCown was going to start in the wide. Nobody seen Yang start the game. Or not even Yang. Nobody seen Kyogo drifting for the wing, inside and back and forth. So I think it's something you can't do all the time. But even Scottish football, you look throughout, as G-Doc says, no, in Scotland, it's no JP, we're still dinosaurs. Well, that isn't the case, because even in Scotland, many teams in Scotland play with 2 strikers. But 1 or 2, if you look throughout their games, I mean, predominantly, you look at St Mirren. There's a perfect. Olasanya's their main sort of. Why? Because he's got that running power and that physicality to run in behind. He's got pace. So teams are using pace now in order to try and win football matches. Look at Hibs. Hibs are using Martin Boyle now, and they're getting the benefit of it because he's injury free and he's flying, and he's now making a contribution in goals. But a lot of teams don't play with 2 up front. They just don't do it. The teams that do it are teams like maybe Ross County, or teams that don't have that attacking flair throughout their side. It's all about flying wing backs now and inverted fullbacks, and inverted wingers and, you know, because predominantly now you're not playing just with one striker. If Celtic set up and Keogh goes through in the middle, you've got KUHN and Maeda that come in to meet him. So you're going as a 3. So it kind of changes. But I've always said Celtic fluctuate between 3 different formations every game, every single game. So they set up in a way when we don't have the ball. When we've got the ball, we play in a certain way. And then when we're attacking in the final third, we set up in a totally different way again. So you've got a front 4 to 5 as well when Celtic are going full pelt. So yeah, but obviously Celtic centre halves come into the opposition half. So if our centre backs are 10 yards in the half, it's only obvious sign that we're going to get the amount of chances that we're getting because you know, it's the modern way of playing now. You've got to have physicality. You've got to have speed, and you've got to have a lot of fitness now to play this modern game. Because the days of like Martin O'Neill and Gordon Strachan and those kind of days, in my opinion, mate, are starting to dwindle away.
It's all through for me. It's all through Pep Guardiola. He's the one that's basically changed everybody to do this, and everybody's trying to copy it. And see, I'm probably a bit different for you in terms of that. I think we can play to the front of the week in Scotland and still win games quite comfortably. Even if you're home. I'm a massive fan of the old school 4-4-2. I don't see any reason why we can't do it when you've got the option of either in Kyogo, the big man, wee man. If it means McGregor and Engels or Hatate McGregor and you play KUHN and Maeda out wide, I don't see why we couldn't do it. I think we've got the ability to do it, especially at home. I think if you play that at home, I think you like with Welly teams, personally. I know people might, like yourself, people might say, but we've got 3 up front, but it's not really 3 up front when you're defending, you only got 1. But if you're defending with 4-4-2, you can still keep 2 up front. Because you're still 4 and 4. So I think, for me personally, I think a 4-4-2 would still fit this style of play we want to play. But Brendan's obviously stuck on it, but
he plays with wingers though, doesn't he? Brendan predominantly plays with wide players. So,
but I'm a massive fan of the 4-4-2. Always have been. I don't like I'm not a fan of because it's technically a 4-5-1, but when you're attacking, it's 4-3-3. That's kind of it sets up like a 4-3-3, but really it's no, because it's only a 4-3-3 when you're going attacking. Because when you're defending, the 2 wingers are coming back to defend, and then you've got Kyogo or Reader up front themselves. So it's one of the ones that, for me, I think formations are. I don't want to say they don't matter, but they do matter. But it's as long as you're set up in a shape and you can defend and go in a line and be together, and obviously they have side trap and stuff like that. Because for me, I think I've done a wee bit of kind of looking recently with Engels. I think Engels has got a bit of free roll with Celtic. See, if you watch Engels, he's never in one position. He's a 10, he's a 6, he's an 8, he's out wide. I think Engels has got a free roll. He's maybe no.
But again, that comes down to running power, physicality, Ryan. That comes down to the way he goes about it.
For me, that Engels has got a bit of a free roll. I personally don't think formations is the biggest thing in football. I think it's more about your shape and how you are as a team and how you go in that formation, if that makes sense. I think Celtic can set up any formation. I'm not saying go out and go and do what you want, but as long as you stay in a shape where you're defending.
Would have a team full of Tommy Gravisons or chasing the ball and running about all over the place if that was the case?
But I'm maybe still, I don't know if it's maybe because JP I've not played football, maybe you're right and I'm maybe still stuck in the old school way, but I prefer the old school type of football where it's just 4-4-2, your head's like McDonald or your Sutton and Larson or even when we had what's his name? Like Hooper and Samaras, Dembele and whatever, Griffiths, now you've got Eder and Kyogo, especially at Celtic Park, JP, I don't see the reason why you can't do it, because I definitely think that I think we've scored more goals. I know we've scored a lot of goals, but I think with 2 up front, thinking that if just it's Valle and even Ralston, Johnson and Taylor, they're going up and down, then the wingers get pushed forward with the 2 up front. Think how many chances you would get, especially at home.
100%, but again, that's Celtic in the final third for me. That's a different formation, a different setup. Harry Kane puts in a comment saying, I agree, formations don't matter. Play 7 up front. If only Craig Levein done that instead of that that 3-6-0 or something he played. We might have got somewhere at that time, but no. Well, I understand slightly where that comment comes from, but you know, formations do matter to an extent. They kind of do, because if you were to go with 3 in the midfield and a team sets up with 5, there's a chance you might get overrun the midfield depending on the way your team's set up. If your wingers aren't coming in to meet up with your, you know, to give you that extra support, and you know, if the way Celtic play just now, like Greg Taylor comes in and comes into the 6th position and to allow our midfield to step higher. So I've just seen that comment there. I'll come to that in a wee second. So slightly, I get where you're coming from, and I think a lot of people are kind of that mindset about, you know, playing a 4-4-2 and having a big striker or a wee striker, but the game's changed now. The way I think somebody's comment earlier on, the game's all full of speed, pace, physicality, running power, fitness, endurance. And I think what's changed this, Ryan, is all this sports science. It's brought into the game now. I know we've all had a laugh this season about sports science, and quite rightly so for some bits or not. But yeah, I really do think that we everything that's coming into the game now, I see the game changing, and obviously you need to be at a certain level of fitness now, because the game's a lot faster, Ryan. It has been now for well over 15 years. So for me, it's now progressing in a different way. And you look at some of the young lads that are coming through now with the speed that they've got. I mean, you look at some of the top pros, Vinny Jr., Mbappe. These guys are lightning, Ryan. Like 20 years ago, mate, a lot of these guys weren't they were fast, but they never had that burst of speed but not just to do it over a certain period of yards, to do it over longevity. And these guys can go and do it for 95 minutes, recover, and go and do it again in 3 days' time. So you need to be at a certain, it's a different way of doing things now. And that kind of big, physical, Chris Sutton type striker, you look all over football. Those kind of guys are far and few between now, right?
Aye, I do get what you're saying in terms of what I mean. A formation and a shape it does matter to a degree, but see if the players all know the positions, they all know the way they want to play. I think you can really set up the way you can really set up anywhere, because, like you say, see if the players are fit, they're pacey, there's some physicality. I don't think it matters what formation you play, because if they're that good and they're that quick and they're that strong, no matter what way you set up, you're probably going to win the game, or you'll be very competitive in the game. So
yeah,
maybe it's just my thinking, JP, in terms of maybe I'm old school and I see football differently for the modern times, but I know football's moved on, but you don't need to move on with it. You can still stick to principles that you feel might win a game. So Brendan Rodgers goes full 3-3. Doesn't mean you need to go full 3-3, because a lot of teams don't. You can go back to a full 4-2 or a 3-5-2. I know I seen a comment with that. I think it was P. McLaughlin. Some people like the 3-5-2. O'Neill liked it, but I don't think we're good enough personally, especially if it was European football. I don't think we're good enough to play 3-5-2. So I don't think defensively we're good enough just yet to do that. Carter Vickers, I used to maybe play him. Just say then went back to the Mark Neal team, right? You could probably play Vickers with Albi and Baldi, or Vickers with Volharen and whatever. You could maybe do that with O'Neill's team, because the O'Neill's team had your really good like Lamberts and Petrovs and Lennons and guys like that in the middle of the park. So they helped him with the free, because Lennon was kind of a defensive, but he was very good in the ball, Lennon.
Yeah.
He might have only ran 10 yards in a circumference, but he was very good at what he done. And I don't think people, again, I was only young at the time, but obviously you see a lot of videos, and I don't think people understood how good Neil Lennon was. Neil Lennon was a tremendous football player. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't these Zidane type players. He wasn't. He was a very good player, and Mark Neil even says it. If I didn't sign Lennon, I might have not done what I done. So I'm more old school, JP. I think it doesn't really matter. Obviously, it matters to a degree, but I think as long as your shape's right and you all stay when you're defending, because I always keep going back to the COVID season where see the Celtic shape, it was all air the cap. The floor in the middle was there. You'd Sorrow there, Tumble there, but I'm like, that's just an absolute. It's all over the place. But if your shape's right, I don't really feel the formation comes into it, because if your shape's right and then you're going forward attacking, you know yourself, JP, when you attack, you're just going forward, and defence just stays. So I'm mid in all schools, but I get what you're saying that football has moved on, and the majority of teams and the way they do things now, it's all moved on, sports science and everything else. It's all. When me and you played, JP, it was just you might go for a sauna or a swim or a stretch. That was it. It was nothing new. You need to play. You know what I mean?
Ryan, here's a way. Obviously, a way to look at it. Right, you look at some of the top teams. Right, see their centre backs. Their centre backs are now blessed with pace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Johan Mialby couldn't run fast. Volharen wasn't fast, but they were physical. They were big lads, and Bobo could shift over a period of yards. But I mean, these guys can look at Austin Trusty. He's got to be one of the fastest centre backs I remember seeing in the last 15, 20 years. His sprint speed's unbelievable. Cameron Carter-Vickers also. So you look at Carol Starfelt, he'd a ton of speed as well. And that's just of recent times for Celtic. But you look down south, Virgil van Dijk's always been quite quick with that big long stride. You look at some of the guys beside him, the boy Joey Gomez can shift. The boy Quansah, he's very quick. You look into Man City, Guardiola, he's not a slouch, mate. He's quite quick. The big boy, who's the other big lad at the back for them?
Diaz.
Is it Diaz? He's got a ton of speed as well for a big lad as well. So you look at all the centre backs and you say to yourself, well, you know, these guys they're all athletes now, Ryan. The game's totally changed, mate. And that's the way to look at it, you know. And some of these young lads, even the fullbacks, man, the fullbacks are lightning now. Look at the lad Penrice at Hearts, man. He's got he's got electric pace, that lad. Now, I'm not saying that boy's top quality. I'm not meaning that. But what I'm saying is, you look at the speed of him. It's very hard to beat these guys in a 1-on-1. So when you see guys like Nicholas KUHN doing it and taking people on and actually eliminating these guys for fun, it just shows you how quick these guys are. And that's what I'm saying about the game changing, mate, because you need to be at a certain level now and a certain speed capacity in order to handle the flow of the games. But I want to touch on, obviously, us ourselves, mate, because we're playing every 3 days, as it seems now. And we seem to have this squad that when the squad's rotating, in my opinion, the level of quality is not dropping. I think Bev touched on it last night, Wes. You look at Bernardo, McCown, Hatate, Engels, McGregor, they're all keeping one another afloat. They're all keeping each other going. And you look out wide. I think out wide we do need a bit of surgery. We do need a bit of help because obviously 1 or 2 injuries you're there. A lot of Celtic fans they obviously don't rate the lad Yang. And right now he's not really done enough in terms of he's cutting edge and he's at the final third and that. In my opinion, Ryan, to play with Celtic and to challenge at all levels when you're playing in Champions League and for the domestic trophies, mate, you need to be contributing massively in terms of goals and assists. Now, I know he played well on Saturday, but the kind of games for Yang, unfortunately, has been, intermediate. They've not been consistently happening. Now, I thought maybe last season we were onto something with him in terms of the run of games he was getting, and then he was sent off at Tynecastle, remember? And then he just drifted out of the team for that after that. And then we kicked on, and obviously we go on and won the double. But we need a wee bit of help in the wide areas, in my opinion, because, again, you've got Nicholas KUHN and Daisen Maeda, 2 explosive players that give the team a massive boost. Also bring various different elements of quality between them. And goals. Big goal threats as well. Now, they lads need a hand, because the next go-to guys, in my opinion, Ryan, are not... You look at maybe James Forrest, but James is injured just now. So when you've got that happening in the background, you kind of need to, you know, be looking elsewhere and trying to bring in another level of quality in order to challenge these guys. Because at big clubs, mate, in my opinion, when you bring one guy out, you bring another guy in. The idea is the quality level not to drop too much or too drastic. I
also touched on as well, you mentioned about obviously like Mialbi and stuff like that. I think one reason why they didn't need pace as much is because they were that good. They were that good at understanding where they had to be, positions they had to be. You always go back to, it was either Maldini, or I think it was Maldini or Nesta. I think it was Maldini. If I had to make a tackle, then I'd done my job then. So that's the mentality of the guys back then. Yeah. So I think the mentality's changed as well, JP. I think people used to really pride themselves on defending, especially the Italians. If Maldini won a tackle or done a stroke a goal, it was a scoring a goal. I think now it's kind of changed a wee bit. I don't think a lot of people pride themselves too much in defending much now. It's more goal scoring and attacking, and it's more about what you do in the final third. I think that's the reason why it wasn't as big then, because guys like Mialbi, as much as Baldy wasn't really good in the ball and stuff like that, he was an absolute man mountain. He knew how to defend. He didn't. Mialbi didn't really need pace because he was that good. He was that good at defending. So but obviously on us, I think the right position's definitely a place for a bit of tweaking, surgery. Ideally in the summer, maybe bring somebody in. Two in maybe in the summer, but I think in January you might get maybe one, if it's a loan deal or if it's something. I don't think, I'd be surprised, we might obviously win off in Norway. I would be surprised if we spend too much, maybe the odd decent signing, but I'd be surprised if we went and spent like 20 million or anything like that. I wouldn't see anything like that. I just can't, unless I could be wrong, but I don't think the squad needs that much. Maybe one or two tweaks. I don't think anything major, because like we've said, you've still got guys like Bernardo and McKim on the bench sometimes, you've got Kenny on the bench, you've got, where no he leaves now, you've still got Narovski sitting there as well. You've got Scales there on the bench sometimes as well. So you've still got a bit roused. So you've still got depth to come in, especially in Scotland. So I think we can all agree, mate, that the wing position's probably a position that you might need to look at. Because I think me and you watched it go last night. I don't know if you watched it all, but I seen a bit on it where they spoke about like KUHN and Maeda stick-ons. And for me, again, I'm not being disrespectful to Dyson, because he scored a lot of big goals for us and what he brings to us. But I think Celtic can buy a better football player than Dyson. But what he brings in terms of his fitness levels and intensity and defensive work and moments that he does, that puts him there, as maybe people think he's a stick-on. But I think Celtic can sign somebody better all-round football-wise than Dyson. That's not disrespectful. That's just, I'm just saying you can maybe buy somebody like a Jota who's better technically than him all-round, but Jota's no go.
But then there's that element as well. You buy a guy like that, is he just a show pony? Is he going to have that big game mentality that Dyson also brings and gives us?
I think Dyson's always in the team because obviously he's a good player, but what I mean is you can go and buy maybe somebody who's a bit more technical, a bit more direct, a bit that like if you say you're a Abada Jota type, also Abada was young and some people didn't like him. I loved him. I thought he was dead raw. He was just a baby, dead raw. He went on the bench of football, and for a young guy to come from a foreign country, settle in and numbers they go. Jota as well. But no, I don't be feeling that, mate. But I do think that the winger situation is probably, because obviously you've still got Taylor and Valle here, you've still got Ralston and Johnson, so that doesn't really need touching the new. You would look at obviously the left back situation in the summer, but I think the winger mate's probably the priority.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say that, you know, obviously, like you say, Ed, I don't think the left back position's in great need just now. I understand, obviously, you know, there's been strong links to Kieran Tierney and try to, you know, recover his services again. I would be quite happy as a Celtic fan waiting to the summer for Kieran, because I know we've got Greg Taylor and Alex Valle just now there until at least the summer. So I don't think there's a major necessity for that just now. because we've coped up to now with the two lads that are there. We've only lost one game this season, so no, I think we're doing fine there. I do think the wide area is one of the, and not only that, Ryan, to also help us with goals. I think to help us kick on and get us some goals, or some more goals to add to what we've already got, to bring that threat. Also to bring that threat to the playing staff, Ryan, to say, right, well, I'm going to bring in guys who are going to come and challenge you. So there's none of this, going to Ibrox and stepping off it for a day. You're not going to get away with that. It's a case of you need to let's go to every game and go into every single game knowing that if I don't turn up here, there's got to be a guy here want my jersey. There's got to be a guy here take my place. So, no, I also think the manager wants that as well, Ryan. I think the manager's looking into trying to bring in 2 players for every position that's just as equal. And because of the calendar, right, and because of the way Celtic play and the amount of games that we play, everybody's going to get a game. This is the thing as well. Everybody's going to play. So there's none of this, he's first choice, he's second choice. There's none of that at all. They're all first team players. Problem is it's where I'm afraid it's a squad game now. The modern day football now has become a squad game. And to be a successful team and challenge for various different competitions and be in the tail end of competitions like league trophies and cup finals and going to Hampden and you need to have that big robust squad that can go and cope with the demands. Now we don't have a winter break, Ryan. So thank God for, could you picture with 4 or 5 injuries at this period of time? Touch every wood, that doesn't now happen to us. But that's why we do have the squad that we've got, because to be champion and be the best, you need to have the biggest level of quality. Doesn't mean you don't stand still. You don't just go, well, do you know what, we're winning everything anyway. No, that's not. No, we go again. After the season, we've probably going to need to play a qualifier to get to the Champions League next season. So we need to be ready, Ryan. We need to be proactive and be prepared. Because if you don't, then you prepare yourself for a big fall, in my opinion, and you don't make it. Obviously, moving into tonight's game as well, mate. Obviously, what's your thoughts on the squad and the way the team will set up, and obviously your thoughts on the team?
I obviously touched on what you said. Obviously, adding to the squad, I think as a club, the way we wanted the club to be run and the way it is run at the moment, you've got to be proactive. So as soon as January's finished, you've got to look at the summer. You've got to look at adding. Again, I don't want to be disrespectful, but no, like 500 grand players for European football. You need to go and spend quality if we want to keep progressing. Because in the past, we have, like Barry says there, we have kind of failed to prepare, and then we've failed, and we've not qualified, or we've not done well in the group stages because we've not done well in terms of recruiting. So it's been better so far, as it stands so far. We've been better in Europe this year, so it's worked so far. Just hope we can continue that as well. So, see, the squad's massive, but I do believe that there is I know Brendan doesn't say there's first choice, but for me, there's definitely guys in that team that are first choice picks. For me, Kyogo's your first choice 9 times out of 10. McGregor's always going to play. Engels is probably like that now as well. KUHN, Maeda.
What I will say on you've touched on Kyogo there. What I will say about that is obviously Brendan's now went out and bought Ida. He went out to get him January last year, and now went out and bought him. I'm thinking there, Ryan, Brendan will certainly back himself with playing, obviously giving Ida game time as well. So I'm not too sure if, maybe Celtic fans will have that opinion that, Kyogo's the main man. And quite rightly so, because if man, like I've said to you many times on here, he's the best I've seen at Celtic since Henrik. However, with Brendan, having that outlay and then on his presser again yesterday, certainly backing him and saying, listen, I don't need my strikers to score 40. Boom, pressure right off him straight away there. That's that's just killed any sort of maybe surrounding feeling that Adam Ida was feeling that, you know, I've not scored a couple of goals here, I've not done. So I don't know. I think Brendan will back himself, mate, in order to have Ida in the team of some way, shape or form.
He's obviously bought Ida in as well to obviously bolster the options up front and help Kyogo as well. But to Brendan, he's maybe no seen those first choices, but I think, again, it's just my opinion, I think secretly there's definitely, for me, Kyogo's definitely the first choice, because like I said to you last night, Ida brings something different, but in terms of all-round quality, he's nowhere near Kyogo's it stands. He's still a young boy though, so he's got a lot to obviously potentially go forward. For me, McGregor's always going to play. Engels and who's probably always going to play if he keeps this form up and the price tag as well. KUHN and Maeda, if they're fit, they play. Trusty, Vickers, probably at the stands now. Johnson, so Casper. So yeah. For me, you've only really got, if I'm me, my thinking anyway as a fan, you've really only got the left back, one midfield position, and I think that's it. I think the rest picks itself. If they're all fully fit and firing, I think the rest all picks itself.
Well,
Ida,
for me, I see it slightly different a wee bit, Ryan, because I see the only one I think is nailed on to start most games if he's ready and fit is Casper.
I think McGregor's nailed on every week.
Yeah, well, obviously the captain, but I think one of the first names is Casper Schmeichel, because as yet we've not even seen Salo apart from in America, so we don't know about that, what that lad's all about. We don't even know what he's capable of. We've actually seen Scott Bain more this season, if you think of the Sligo Rovers game, than what we have in terms of during the season. And, you know, we've seen him more than and we all know what the Celtic fans' thoughts are on Scott Bain. My thoughts personally is he wouldn't even get a game of Kirby with. So I don't know why Scott Bain is still around the place, but he's probably a great teammate and he's probably good for the environment. He's good at whatever, you know, I don't know, as Roy Keane says, he must be good at magic tricks with cards or something, I don't know, something along those lines. He must be a good singer on a bus or something when they're travelling away and doing that, but I for the life of me can't see why, personally, Scott Bain's still in the building. I thought Scott Bain might have moved on and maybe ended up at East Kilbride or something along the way. Monty says, would like to see Celtic go to the big English clubs and get a winger on loan and go big and you get big rewards. I understand what you're saying, I really do. And but I think Celtic are just too big a club to be going and loaning other teams' players, especially if we're not going to keep them. The only way, Ryan, I want to see that happening is if Celtic are going to keep the player or have some sort of option to buy the player. And I get where Monty's coming from, because listen, there's loads of guys down in England who, you know, maybe guys that aren't getting a game with Liverpool, aren't getting a game with Man City, aren't getting a game with Man U, but they probably come here and do very, very well, mate. Like, there's a boy I can think of the now, I think would look amazing in the Celtic teams, the boy Garnacho at Man U. I think he's, you know, somebody of that ilk. But the only way I would go and get him, Ryan, is if there's an option to keep him. And I know what Monty's, I know that side of it, I know where Monty's coming from, but I'm not in favour, should I say, of the loan way, unless there is an option to keep them. If there's not, then I think Celtic's too big a club, Ryan, in order to develop someone else's player for 6 months or a year or whatever it may be. Because I think through the years and through time, I think Celtic have proven themselves to have that high stature that, you know, we shouldn't be doing that.
Ideally, you don't want to own somebody else's player and develop them. The only reason I would say that if the option to buy, ideally you want the option to buy, because there's no point loaning somebody with no option to buy, because, like you've said, you're developing somebody's player, loaning them back, giving them back to them, and then you negotiate them again. The only thing I think that I would take for a loan deal is if it was somebody ridiculously good for doing south and for a year you know you're going to get, if just say it's a winger, just say it was a natural for a year. And bear in mind, he's playing the Man U's first team. Just say it was him for a full season, European football, the league.
Oh,
you
yeah.
would take
No,
it.
well, listen, that's different if it's at the start. Okay, I could look at that at the start of the season and you say to yourself, well, we've got a big season because we're going to be playing the Champions League group stages. If it's someone in January, then no, I'm not up for a 6 month.
I don't think
We
it's
as
doable.
Celtic fans seem to fall in love with these guys very quickly.
Aye.
And then all of a sudden, boom, they're away.
I think I don't want another either situation where you need to sit all summer and decide when you want to buy them, because again, it's just my opinion. I know Brendan talks about price tags and it's not a matter. To me, it is a wee bit, because we could have gone for £3 million with an option to buy if the club decided to do that.
Yeah.
So that's how I still say that Adam Ida it wasn't a panic buy. I know Rodgers didn't say he wanted him, but it was the last bit of the window. There's nobody else we can get. He's on our list. We'll go and get him. And I still say that if the club really thought Ida was going to come in and be brilliant, they would have put an option to buy one. So I don't like this option to buy stuff. So I agree with you on that, JP, that in January, if you sign somebody on loan, if we're going to come in, at least make it to December or the next summer for 18 months, and then possibly look at a loan to buy. If no, unless it's a guy, just say you're not, or even, listen, that I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, mate. Just say it was Marcus Rashford, right, for a year. You take it all day long, because you know he's going to come in, he'll give you a bit of quality, a bit of class, he'll score you goals at this level where we are. Might not be well at Man United, but he would stroll up here, he would walk up here, let's be fair. That's the sort of signing, like Robbie Keane came to Celtic, that's the sort of signing you would take. If it's 6 months for a year, right, fine, he's going to score you goals, that's fine. But when you're trying to get like a Jota or a Carter Vickers, you need to have an option to buy, because you've then got the option, right, he's good enough, we'll get him. If he's not, right, we'll send him back. So,
obviously that could be for another podcast that we're actually going into chat about here, but just to kind of summarise on that, you look at Celtic's transfer model. No every club, by the way, that you've got to deal with teams like Benfica and teams like, Man City and teams like, they're never ever going to always agree to, give out their talent free with a bare minimum option to buy. Now, Celtic's recruitment model over the last 5 years, look at the amount of players we've had in that, on that sort of payment plan and scheme. Jota, phenomenal. Cameron Carter-Vickers. We've brought Daisen Maeda. We've brought these guys in loan, and then they've came permanent. Adam Ida's another one. Now, for me, I agree with you in terms of the Adam Ida thing, but in Adam Ida's defence, Ryan, I personally think the club maybe had another eye on a target who wasn't available in January. That's why this stumbled on. Then Rodgers used his contact book and thought to himself, no, I want this guy. He's went for Adam Ida. And to get the deal done, they have agreed that deal in principle just so that they've got that option in. Because if Celtic don't sign Adam Ida last season, Celtic don't, in my opinion, they don't go on and do what they done last season and secure the double, because he helped massively towards it. Right? Before that, Ryan, we were, I don't want to say struggling, but we weren't hitting the certain goal trail that we've seen it pick up when Adam Ida came in. Along with Nicholas KUHN, by the way, but Nicholas KUHN took a wee bit longer to get going. But Ida hit the ground running as soon as he came in. I understand the days of Robbie Keane and Craig Bellamy and all that, and the kind of days, but the game's changed now. So for me, you've got to remember as well, the Rangers side you were up against then as well were really good. You look at Craig, that Rangers side that Craig Bellamy faced. They a lot of good players on that team. Even when Robbie Keane came up here, Celtic weren't in a good place at the time, and we were really lucky to have Robbie at that time. Same with Roy Keane. When Roy came up in the short time that he came up, Roy probably wasn't 100% fit as well. He'd probably tell you that as well. But you look at Paddy Roberts. there's a prime example of another way you go and do your due diligence on an individual and they come here and it's a great fit. You look at Jota, right? He's went elsewhere, mate, and it's not worked out. So, does that mean Jota's a bad player? No, it doesn't. It just means he's... Look at Scott Sinclair. Scott Sinclair rejigged his whole career when he came back to Celtic. And up here he looked like a superstar. Why? Because Celtic were just a great fit for the guy. Certain players fit certain styles. And, so I really do think, you know, the transfer model that Celtic have, okay, you're going to have players coming in, and unfortunately, you're not going to be able to sign every player that's have an absolute belter, and things aren't going to work. And we saw it even recently. You know, you look at the Thiago Home. There's a perfect example of that. People still saying Yang not good enough. Palma, it's not worked out. There's been plenty, Ryan, through the last few years that have not come in and worked out. So, yeah, that's where I think Celtic have done really, really well. Because more so than not, Celtic get more right, in my opinion, than they do wrong. And for every one they get wrong, they bring in two that are right. So, especially under Brendan Rodgers this time around, because he looks as if he's certainly in a lot more control in the club, Ryan, than maybe what he was the first time around. But, again, that could be for maybe another episode. Tonight's team, mate, what are you going with?
I think it might be around about the same team. It just depends if Nicholas Kuhn's fit or not. I do think McKibben will come in and play. If Kuhn's going to play, then I think it'll be the same back four. I think Valle will play. I thought he done really well.
Yeah.
I do feel he's a better left back. I mean, Taylor, I think he's technically better. He's better at one defending as well. So I think he actually gives you a lot more going forward. But Taylor's good at the inverted roll back as well. So there's pros and cons of the both of them. So I think Valle will play. I think it'll be McGregor, McKibben and Engels. And then if Kuhn's fit, it'll be Kuhn, Kyogo and Yang. If Kuhn's not fit, I think it might be the same team. But I think McKibben came in the middle of the park. So, I think Hatate might come out and McKibben will come in. So, it's one of the ones, it's no matter who you play, JP, I think it all depends on if Kuhn's fit. If Kuhn's fit,
Yeah.
I think it will be 4-3-3. If it's not, then I think he'll revert back to probably the team at the weekend. I think McKibben will come in because I think he done well when he came on. So, you might get a wee cameo game for Johnny Kenny if the game's going well. So I think that'll be my teammate. I think I'm looking forward to the game. I don't know why I always get a soft spot for one player every time we sign them. I don't know why, but I love seeing Engels now, JP. I love got to see him play. I think he's different class.
He's a top player, man.
Again, because he's maybe not scored 50 goals or 50 assists. Again, fans all expect different for the signings that you make in terms of the money, but I think he's different class. It's the wee small touches. He's always looking ahead and behind him. He's always alert. His deliveries are different class, and it wouldn't surprise me if we get a goal for a corner tonight as well, because his deliveries are different class. So, that's me, mate. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win. I think we'll do really well tonight. Normally, I'm trying to stay away for scoring lines because I've had a few ran recently. But I think we'll be okay tonight. I don't see any reason why they can't go and get a good victory.
Yeah, 100%. I'm going to make it nice and short, nice and easy. I think it'll be the same team from Saturday. I think it'll be Casper,
Ian Andrews.
Ian Andrews, aye. Wayne Biggins, Paul Telfer,
aye.
Jaduri, and Badal Kaduri.
Mo Kamara, Jesus,
Mo Kamara, Jesus, Johnny, man. Better be a Kodak camera, aren't you, man?
I'm getting myself fit again when he played professional football, man.
Aye. Clickety click. But no, I think it'll be Schmeichel, Johnson, Carter Vickers, Trusty, Valle. I think the midfield will be... Yeah, Nick. I don't know what part of the
He's he's an Aston Villa fan, JP.
Oh, is he? Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Well, for that, on that note, Nick, I was going to say I don't know what part. I've never seen you comment in here before, so that's why I was just about to say I don't know what part of the divide that you're on, but that Scottish football used to have a 2-horse race, and then in 2012, mate, we seemed to have lost a horse. Scottish football then became show jumping. and Celtic ran away with it for her. And and the rest is history, as I say. But on that note, Nick, just before I give the rest of my team there, we are coming to Villa, not to take part, I'm afraid. We are going to be looking to take over, I'm afraid, that night. So be prepared, my man. And hopefully by that time, the two teams will be through and to the next stage of the Champions League as well. So midfield, I think it'll be McGregor, Engels, and I'm going to say like McKeown as well. I think that might be the only change for the weekend, actually. And then I think it'll be Yang, Kyogo, and the big man. I think Bagida. I don't see why you change. Like you say, if Nicholas Kuhn's fit, then I think Rodgers will play him. I do, but in my opinion, I don't think he'll I don't think in my opinion, I don't think he needs to rush him, if that makes sense, because we do have important games coming. Nick doesn't seem to think we're going to get a result down there. It's going to be interesting because every English team that does write us off, we actually turn them over. So we had a very famous quote, men against boys, when Blackburn Rovers came up to play us, and we went down there and we took them to Skelpie Bum Mountain. He's of no John McGinn, so I don't know what's going to happen now, because our man in the midfield will run riot with his man, Big Engels. He'll run him up with his. Hail to Harry Shannon as well, mate. But if anybody's going to the Dundee game tonight, do enjoy. Take care, wrap up. Because it could, temperatures are forecasted to drop to -18. So do take care. And we did the same to Liverpool, Francis. Yeah, we did. We turned them over as well. I was behind that, by the way. John Hartson's goal. Amazing. What a strike. That's the best. That's one of the best European goals I think I've ever seen live. Amazing, right? What a goal. Again, Big Momo Silla ran a savvy that night, I know. His energy was brilliant in the team. Jamie Smith also did well when he came on. Yeah. You remember Jamie? So we really played well. No, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, Nick, if you're tuning into Celtic, especially when we came down to Villa. You set up now a certain way, mate, that'll be entertaining for us, because we'll be able to combat that. I do like your manager as well, Nick. I think he's an exceptional coach. Just a short time ago when Ange Postecoglou was moving on, I did say to Ryan here that that's the type of manager didn't I, Ryan? I said to you that's the type of coach I would be looking for, and I really do like Unai Emery. I think he's a top coach. However, I'm afraid there's always that one time in your career where you have to be schooled, and I'm afraid wee Brendan's coming down to do that very job, Nick. So please be aware, mate. Listen, if you watch this podcast and go back, I've predicted for some time now that we are going to win away in the Champions League, and it's just going to be like us to come down and actually do that. So were we all, Nick, to be fair. So were we all, before we finish up. We were all shocked, mate. Nobody seen that coming. But, as I've always said, Birmingham have turned yous over a few times as well. So it can happen in derbies, mate. You're not just going to win every single one of them. Some you need to go and earn, and some you really, but unfortunately Celtic weren't at the races that day. And that the other side of the city fully deserved their victory. And they also played like a caged animal that day as well. Jobs were on the line, including their manager. So probably still is the same case just now in terms of where they sit as a club. But yeah, as I say, Aberdeen have beat us, Nick. St Mirren have beat us. Hearts have beat us. It happens now and again up here, but they are very intermediate and there's big gaps between them. So we'll not get too carried away. The next one at Celtic Park's not until March. By that point, I think Rangers will be looking for Easter eggs rather than looking for points for the league. I think the league will be finished by then, Ryan. I really do. I think there'll be the way Celtic. I know, but the way Celtic are going just now, I think if they continue to win the games that are coming up, Ryan, then I think that by that point we're heading into nearly the split, and Rangers are closer to 11th in the league now than what they are to us. So yeah, but Nick, we are looking forward to the Aston Villa game, mate. Before that, we need to play young boys, take care of them, and then we'll be down to take care of you boys. Ryan's going to Villa, so Ryan's looking forward to that. He'll be looking out for you, Nick. He'll be shouting for you once Celtic go 2-0 up. And Mickey Ogo's got a brace. That's only because big Ollie Watkins has elbowed him in the mouth. Nothing to do with the 2 goals he scored. But I'm looking forward to that game, to be fair. But I do think it'll be, I don't want to say a damp squib or anything like that, but the 2 teams will have already qualified by that point, Ryan, and I think it'll still be a good game, but I don't think there'll be much on it the way those kind of games are normally quite fiery.
Hopefully we get a result against young boys, and then you can kind of relax a wee bit and not have to really do everything you can to get a result to qualify. Yeah. You can relax and still get a victory and still perform well, but it takes you. It takes a wee bit off it that you can maybe not experiment, but you can go down, relax, and just enjoy the occasion and try and put a result in. Probably for my thinking, Nick, is it's a chance for Celtic to really kind of show that we're a good team, that we can beat teams from down south, and the Scottish League isn't as bad as what people say it is, or there's not a good enough crop of players that can play down south. So it's a wee bit of thing as well to prove a point as well, that we can compete with the teams down south. So, and obviously the manager, Emery, I like him. He's really good. He's successful. No, he's top. He's flashing his top. Especially European level, he's really good. So, it would be brilliant if we could go down there and get a victory. I think it would probably crown some of your seasons, right? If we can go to Aston Villa and get a result, because we're not really expected to get a result, because I know Villa's not been brilliant this season in terms of last season. They're still a team full of quality. Obviously, Ollie Watkins is doing well. The boy Duran, you've got Morgan Rogers. They're a very good team. Even the boy Matty Cash, I like him as well. The fullback, so they've got a very decent team as well, mate. So it will be interesting. But like you say, take care of Dundee first, Kelly and the young boys, and then we'll go to obviously Villa as well, and hopefully take care of business down there if we can.
Yeah, and just before we go, John says, Johnny Doyle, when we beat Madrid, was special. Yep, wait to see Yang when we beat Dundee tonight, Johnny boy. We're looking forward to that as well. That's going to be even better. But that's all I've got time, folks, for and this fine Tuesday afternoon it is now. But as I say, if you're going to the game tonight, please take care, wrap up well, and travel safe. We'll be back probably the end of the week, Friday. We will be back on Friday because Barry Bannon will be joining us on this fine channel for a chat with the boys. Because he was meant to be on last night, but obviously a family emergency did arise right at the last minute, and he had to go and attend to that. So, I'm looking forward to. Nick says tonight he thinks it'll be 4-0 to Celtic. I think we're all hoping for the same. Another 3 points. I'll take 1 though. I mean, it doesn't even need to be 4 for me. Bearing in mind as well, the games are coming thick and fast. We have got Kilmarnock in the Cup on Saturday. If you are new to the channel, Nick, if we beat you better subscribe to this channel. Simple as that. I know you're not a Celtic fan, pal, but if we come down there and turn you over, I think it's only fair that you do hit the subscribe button and the like button also. But if anybody else is new to the channel, like what you've seen today, please do so. As I said, hit the like and subscribe. It's totally free, doesn't cost you anything, and it lets you join our fantastic wee family in here for the banter. But for the time being,
thanks, Nick. Cheers, mate. Appreciate
thank you, Nick. All the best, pal. Take care, and take care to everybody else. Cheers for tuning in. Yep. We'll see you all later. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Hail, hail.